truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
Time right now is 8:30. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. This morning, we are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my handsome young guest, and feel free to ask questions and share comments during the show. His name is Shannon Christian. He is the Superintendent of Schools for Bremen City Schools District. Good morning.
It's great to be here, Colin.
Glad to have you. We have a couple things we're going to talk about. One very important thing I think we'll start off the show with. We have a no singing policy on the show, by the way, but I can't help but say, Mr. Christian, the time has come to talk about this great thing that you guys approved, the Board of Education. Do you not recognize that lyric? Sister Christian?
Oh, yes.
It's been in my head all morning.
Night Ranger.
Yeah. All right, enough of that rubbish. A big thing that you guys, the board, approved on Tuesday, or earlier this month.
That's correct.
Going to benefit the seniors. I did a story on it the day after you guys did that, but it is still interesting to see how you guys can accomplish this. I mean, it's a great thing. It's good to talk about that, but how you guys can accomplish that as far as the money you will not collect. So fill us in.
Yes. Well, thank you for this opportunity, and it's important to us to recognize that boards of education have no authority to decide who pays the taxes, and it's a common misconception.
Or the assessment you don't have no authority over the assessments, and
well, we have no authority on that either. But determining who pays taxes and who doesn't is not under the purview of a board of education. We only set a millage rate, and so when a community can have a conversation about offsetting taxes for specific groups, typically seniors, it's really a community conversation, and one that's very important for everybody to be educated on. So our Board of Education recognized in a very difficult tax year, our residents of Haralson County went to their mailboxes, and many were shocked with the increases in assessed value of their homes. And so the need for seniors to have some relief is not new, but it certainly was magnified this year. And so people with fixed incomes who are pinching every single penny and know what they have left every month after they pay their bills, and it's typically not much, when they all of a sudden have to pay double or triple the amount of ad valorem taxes on their property.
And do you find people still don't understand that when they get that first bill? I mean, even though it says this is not a bill, I mean, they're still pretty fired up. And this time you guys had to deal with them being fired up for 4 months because there was a delay.
That's correct. And it's just part of the legal process, and we're all trying to play by the legal rules of it. But you're right. It is not a bill, and school systems don't determine what those assessments are. And so we have to let all of that play out, and so we've done that. But in a very difficult tax year, our board has had, they have a lot of concern, not just for running a school system like Bremen, but also for the taxpayers in the community. And we have a fortunate there's fortunate timing right now in Bremen, Georgia, where we have some much-needed growth, commercial growth, and no secret anymore. But a long-time partner of Carroll County and Haralson County in Southwire is now building a location in Bremen in Haralson County, and we anticipate tax revenues coming in from Southwire that will give us an opportunity to do something unique. Unique in that typically in a community when you're discussing senior exemptions, you also have to talk about what that tax shift. Exemption is not really an accurate word. Tax shift is the accurate word. And so you still have to, you can't just say, okay, we're going to eliminate taxes for a group and not need those taxes to run the schools. And so this unique year in that we know that Southwire's coming in and going to infuse some additional tax revenues gave us an opportunity to run some calculations and determine, okay, what could this community provide to seniors at this time with revenues coming in from commercial growth to offset that loss in senior taxes. And that's what we as a school system were afforded an opportunity to do, which was, all right, we got to present some numbers to our legislators, and they've worked hand in hand with us on this to show what that proposed or what that anticipated offset would be. And so that's what we've done.
And it goes from it is an exemption in it's saying, $10,000 of the assessed property was the initial set for over 65 and older, right?
That's correct.
And you guys lifted it up all the way to 90,000.
Well, that's what we have proposed.
That's what you're hoping, yeah.
That's what we have proposed, yes, sir.
And but Haralson County residents, voters will ultimately have to decide that. Will they do that this November?
It would be this November if everything's taken through the legislative process as anticipated. It would be not just Haralson County, but it'd be Bremen, Haralson County, and Carroll Bremen.
It's about 75 houses there,
residents.
Right? Yeah, I don't know the age there. It'd be about 75 houses in the Carroll.
I believe there are 200 and something parcels, and that would include some commercial. Yes, sir.
Well, how can you be so confident? You make this big move here, and you say you're going to get. You guys rolled back the millage rate this year, right?
We didn't buy the definition of rollback, but we did decrease the millage rate
a little bit. Okay,
yeah.
But given that discount, how can you guys expect it to be still beneficial next year or the year after? I mean,
right?
How would you take care of that if things changed in the next 2-3 years?
Well, I like that you asked me. How can we be confident? We can't be completely confident, to be honest with you. But we've done a lot of research and math on this, and I mentioned earlier that it was a difficult tax year for us. Difficult is the word I choose, but it could be way more difficult if we're in a depression. The difficulty this year was that property values went up significantly. In the initial assessment that rolled out, they went up 42%. Our entire Haralson County Bremen Digest went up 42%. And so there are some appeals, and that number decreased, but not significantly. And so what that does is illustrates that we're going to potentially be able to collect much more. And so that's why we were able to decrease our millage rate. And then, so that was a factor, certainly, not just in this year, but also years moving forward. But again, setting that aside, the Southwire, anticipated revenues are what we based our calculations on for this senior exemption.
And the Southwire business doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are going to have more students either, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's bringing more students in.
It does not.
Okay. All right. Do you consider that the student population is it rapidly growing over the last 5 years?
We're not rapidly growing. We are. I would consider our growth stagnant in Bremen. We do have 27% of our student population being tuition paying, and so we have a thermostat of sorts. If there was, if a 200 home neighborhood was approved for Bremen, then we certainly have the ability to move that thermostat down on how many tuition-paying out-of-district students we allow. And so we have a benefit of that most school systems do not. But no, Bremen is small. there's been very coordinated growth for our community, which I think is good, and we don't have 200 house neighborhoods going in. Mm-hmm. So at this point, we are we're in a fortunate position where we don't have to be projecting, to build new schools every year, like a lot of school systems do.
But the tuition paying, that just basically means they're out of the district.
That's correct.
Yeah, it can be coming from Carrollton or Villa Rica.
That's right.
All right, Superintendent for the Bremen City School District, Shannon Christian, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Time right now is 8:40. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post those on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and we'll take a look at that during this break. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
All right, 8:40. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is the Superintendent of the Bremen City Schools District, Shannon Christian. And glad to have you on the program this morning. Thanks for coming out and talking about that. If you missed the first segment, we did talk about some benefits to the senior community. Hopeful benefits to the senior community that would begin next year. So I encourage you to go back and watch that if that could pertain to you. Again, Shannon Christian, my guest. You were hired in 2022, or you started in 2022. You currently are contracted through 2028.
Correct.
Can you look at when you got here, when you saw the school, what the school needed, what the school was, to where you are now, looking ahead to the 26-27 school year? What's changed?
Well, hopefully not much has changed. When I arrived, I knew that Bremen was one of the best school systems in the state of Georgia, if not the best. And so my job was to come in and learn Bremen, and nothing was quote unquote on fire, and so I needed to come in. It was very important to my board that I come in and learn the community, learn the schools, and fit in. And so that was my task number one when I came in. We have accomplished a lot, in 4 years. I think certainly with safety and continuing to push the needle in all areas, whether it be academic or fine arts or athletics. And so I pride myself in being one of the teammates who support the actual work that's going on. And that's in the classroom. And so we have some of the best teachers in the entire state and Southeast, and we just strive to continue to support that good work.
That niche, actually I turned my mic up, sorry about that. That niche, niche.com, they always rank Bremen, I guess, like in the top 97% of the schools in the state.
That's right.
As long as I've been here, I think it's always been that high. How do you maintain that, and how do you maintain the teachers that you need to? Teachers are always, like anybody else, are looking for better pay, better conditions, maybe something better for their family. So how do you maintain both of those things?
Well, it's a great question, and you mentioned looking for pay. Bremen is what it is because of the community. Schools are a reflection of their communities that they serve, and so we're just in a fabulous community. The traditions and the values and the morals and the hard work ethic that Bremen has and has had for a long time attracts people, and so we're not different than most other school systems in that we're always looking for the very best staff members. And I will say that it's that we're in a fortunate position that we attract the very, very best.
I was going to say, when you have those greater scores, is it easier to attract teachers, or other teachers that are like, well, what, I don't even want to mess with that because I'm kind of intimidated by that to maintain that?
Well, the short answer is yes, but it's much more than just those scores. It's the it's all those things I mentioned a moment ago. It's the values and traditions and well-behaved students and parents who send kids to school to learn and uphold that standard and that in and of itself attracts good people.
The Board of Education opted out of 581, House Bill 581. It was last year. Yeah,
that's right.
When they did that, was that still a good decision? Looking back a year later,
it was a very good decision for Bremen City Schools. There's a lot of nuance to that bill that most people will never understand, but for a school system like Bremen, which leverages a very high percentage of state funding to fund our schools, a lot of that not only coming from what we earn just for students, but also with equalization and our 5 mil share. Most people don't understand how that House bill was going to affect 5 mil share in equalization, but Bremen is considered one of the poor school systems in the state. We receive a significant amount of money in equalization, and a lot of factors involved, and again, a tough tax year on top of House Bill 581, but there were several factors that could have had us forfeit a ton of money that funds our schools in equalization, and so our board absolutely made the correct decision.
there's a formula I know that the state sends down that, you have to have a certain millage to accommodate a certain amount of money that you guys get on your own to receive other monies.
That's correct.
All right. Can you explain that all to us? Because I know if you guys and that number, I think there was discussions to actually lower that.
Yes, you're correct on all fronts, and that has to do with all of those things impact what I just mentioned, 5 mil share and equalization. And so it used to be in law that if you lowered your millage rate below 14, then you would forfeit the opportunity to receive some of those additional monies if you were a poor school district.
Okay, so the suggestion is if you're 14 mils, you're not taking advantage of all the possible money.
Yeah, if you're not going to leverage more from your local tax base, then the state's not going to give you that additional money. So I think that's a very wise decision. And so there was a change to that law midstream in the conversation of House Bill 581. So we were already expected to make a decision before the legislature ended last year. So after we made our decision about House Bill 581, the new law came into effect where you can be as low as 10. If you
I didn't even know they approved 10. It. I remember them discussing it, so they did approve it and pass it.
They did. And I will tell you, there's still a common misconception, even among school superintendents across the state, about how that is implemented. Now, you still will forfeit some equalization monies if you go below a 14 mil rate. You will forfeit all of it if you go below 10. However, there's a percentage loss. You're still saying, okay, we don't need all of that equalization money below 14. Bremen is now below a 14 mil rate. We dropped to 13.5. So we, also in our planning and budgeting and understanding of all the impacts of all these moving parts, we understand that in Bremen, to lower that millage rate below 14 like we have done, we will forfeit a small, albeit, but a percentage of our equalization funds. And so we don't feel that for a couple of years, but we know that it's going to impact us in a couple of years.
Voters last November approved new East Blast. Was it 7? East Blast 7?
That's correct.
I think about both of it, the SPLOST, the regular special purpose local option sales tax, and the East Blast. That was on the same ballot last year.
That's right.
So it's kind of risky, I thought, but they both passed pretty easily. What are your plans with that funding? And I guess it hasn't even kicked in yet as far as collection, right?
Collection for that has not kicked in yet, but we submitted to our community, with a lot of community input, by the way, in meetings leading up to it, that we're really in a phase where we need to rebuild our coffers for a future project. The large future project likely will be a rebuild addition to, that's not all decided yet, Jones Elementary School. I mentioned earlier that our growth is stagnant. However, we do have a campus that is full, and that's our academy and middle school. It's 4th grade through 8th grade. And the state currently recognizes that we are 4 classrooms shy of being able to serve the students who are currently there. And so our board, in their wisdom, has decided that we would be unwise to add on to that campus because we have a traffic problem there. So we can solve some of that traffic problem by taking a grade, at least one grade back from the academy to the elementary school. And additionally, Jones Elementary School is our oldest campus, oldest buildings, and it's time for some love there. So, but that it costs a whole lot of money to build these days, and we're probably 5+ years away from being able to do that. But we did put in this SPLOST referendum that we would start the planning phase, perhaps even some earthwork there at the campus of Jones Elementary School. Other things that were important to our community, we're adding air conditioning to to 3 of our gyms that are not conditioned. So that's 2 at the elementary school, 1 at the academy and middle school. Some parking projects, some safety stuff. But for the most part, we asked our community to continue the eSPLOST, which has been fabulous for schools, to help us pay some debt service. I mean, we just completed a major project in 22 at Bremen High School, which has been a fabulous addition to our community.
Still have the bond.
And we need to pay that. And so eSPLOST helps us do that without raising the millage rate.
Shannon Christian, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He's Superintendent of Schools for the Bremen City Schools District. Before I do take the break, just because this is on my head, when students do, I don't want to say transfer to Bremen City Schools District, but when they do start, if they come out of the 27% that are elsewhere, I mean, do they do that from the start? Are they doing it at kindergarten and pre-K, or are they more of them doing it in high school? And I'll just throw this out there: which do you recommend?
We have. I don't have numbers for you. In fact, I'm going to make a point to have those numbers next time I'm sitting here with you. But we do find that most of our out-of-district students start with us early, and so we get those students in kindergarten or first grade. And but we do have students asking for and parents asking for tours at just about any grade level. And so we entertain those and love to show off our facilities and what we do in Bremen. And if Bremen's the right fit for mamas and daddies and kids, and they're the right fit for Bremen, then we usually do our best to find a spot for them.
I mean, it could be something as simple as maybe the parents got a better job and they're getting a little money and they think they can afford to pay the tuition if they're living out, or somebody's got a friend who they had in middle school, they're going to Bremen.
That's right.
And they want to be with them. And I don't think you guys see this as much, but I mean, nowadays you see kids transferring to high schools because they're going to play sports.
That's right.
So all right, time right now 8:52. We'll come back with about 6 minutes on this morning's program. I actually will look at the Facebook comments and questions during this break and see if we can share anything with the Superintendent of Schools for Bremen City Schools District. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
right, 8:54. Welcome back to the Community Voice program. Thanks for watching us on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. A young man named Keith Banks has posted. He says, Bremen is blessed to have such a great superintendent and even a better individual. Thank you for checking in there, Keith. Something, just doing research for this interview, I looked up something that happened last year, Power School. If you don't mind explaining to us what that was or what that is. It runs the most commonly used student information system in the U.S. They had a cybersecurity breach last year, and it exposed the sensitive personal information of millions of students and educators. How did that affect Bremen schools, and what has the city school system done to, the best you can, fix that and make sure it doesn't happen again?
Sure, great question. We did use Power School. Our students were affected. Their data was affected by the breach. Unfortunately, we live in a day where I don't know that there's an American citizen now who hasn't received some kind of notification that their information has been lost through a breach. But I think what we should expect, though, is when that happens, that the business that you use respond appropriately. And when we learned of the breach, we felt like the response was not sufficient. And one of our biggest priorities in Bremen is to protect our students, and not just physically but also their data. And so we were very uncomfortable with the response very early on, and so was our board. And so our board allowed us to take quick action to fire Power School, and so we did that, and we're now and we transitioned over. Not a quick, simple, easy task. Mm-hmm. We met with our staff. We explained the situation to them, and I didn't have a single staff member who was unwilling to do the work and endure the transition. They knew what we had ahead of them, and they all agreed that this is something that we need to do.
One of the actions that Power School did take is they paid a ransom, and I think people higher up say don't ever do that, but they did pay that ransom. That what kind of position does that put you in, or put school systems in the future? I mean, if somebody independently just hacks individual school systems, does that make it more likely, you think?
Personally, yeah, I think it does, but that didn't even factor really into our decision. Even far earlier than that, just the communication itself, and we had zero comfort that we would be protected in the future.
Yeah.
So we decided we needed to move on.
All right, we got 2 more minutes left with the school superintendent for Bremen City School District. Is Bremen and Bowden, is that still a big rivalry?
Yes. I started to say Bowden who?
Yeah.
But no, it is a great rivalry, one that we appreciate. I think one of the longest in the state, and they run a good program over there, and have a lot of friends who have been through Bowden or are still in Bowden, so have a healthy respect for them.
So was it painful 4 years in a row for football champions over in Bowden?
It's always painful if you're Bremen and you're not on the
I have no allegiance to either school. I just thought it was a good question. So, all right, super. We have 1 minute. Any points you want to make sure we talk about? Maybe reiterate the potential for the exemption for seniors, or you want to say?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. What I want to do most right now is educate, and so I'd love to have any community organizations or even an individual who wants to talk about it to reach out. And I make myself available. This is not just about senior citizens. It's about the entire community. It'll be a community vote, a community decision as to whether or not an exemption is put into place. And so please reach out to me, and I'd love to discuss it.
And I guess the theory with seniors is that, they're going to have smaller paychecks at this point when they're seniors, but they also don't have kids in the schools anymore. So kind of helping them out there. And to benefit from this, as part of the proposal, they have to have at least paid for the last 5 years. Right?
That's correct. So one of the provisions is that we've proposed in this legislation is that you have to have contributed to Bremen City Schools as a homestead taxpayer for a minimum of 5 years before becoming eligible. And what that'll do is that'll make sure that there's some equity. So if someone moves in from New Jersey to Bremen, Georgia, they still will be contributing to the school system before they would be eligible.
Just 5 years, all right. Superintendent of Schools for Bremen City Schools District, Shannon Christian, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. If you missed any of it, it will be on Facebook at least for 30 days. It'll always be forever on the News Talk 1330 Great Communications YouTube page, and it'll be on our website at newstalk1330.com, archived, hopefully forever. Thank you for tuning in this morning, Shannon. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Colin.
And thank you guys for listening and watching. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WL